Aloha! Welcome to Chappy's Tiki Bar. We got a great episode today. For Appies with Chappy by the lake, we're going to make a Fonduta Valdostana, which is basically just an Italian fondue. Make sure you stay till the very end where I'm reunited with my little Chihuahua Mookie. First up, I just made a strawberry daiquiri. So I'm going to put the recipe to my strawberry daiquiri up. So my strawberry daiquiri is 1 cup of fresh strawberries, 1 ounce of white rum, a ½ ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice, and a ½ ounce of simple syrup, or you could use a ½ ounce of store-bought strawberry daiquiri mix. And then I've garnished it with some lovely strawberries. So coming up, as I said, for Appies with Chappy by the lake, we're going to make a Fonduta Valdostana. Here's what you're going to need. 12 ounces of Fontina cheese, 2 cups of whole milk. You're going to need 8 1 1/2 inch thick slices of Pane Rustico, or rustic bread, I guess that's the translation, or any other country style bread. I think a good crusty bread will be in order. You need some fine sea salt to taste, and 4 fresh white truffle shavings, or a teaspoon of white truffle puree. I might skip the white truffle part because it's a little on the pricey side. So I'm getting this recipe from my book, How to Italy. It says cheesy fondue from the north of Italy is a 1-dish meal. It is a cousin of the Swiss fondue, but it doesn't include wine or garlic, and it does include egg yolks. In addition to in place of the cubes of bread, you can serve lightly steamed vegetables such as cauliflower florets for dipping. You can also pour it over cooked vegetables or a vegetable flan as it were sauce. So let's get started on my Fonduta Valdostana. All right, so I got a really nice Fontina cheese from Denmark. We're going to take the rind off and cut it very thinly. We're going to remove the rind and we're going to cut it thinly so it melts properly. All right, we'll just see how much cheese I have here. All right, so I got about 5.5 ounces. The recipe calls for 12 ounces of Fontina and 2 cups of whole milk. So we'll just do 1 cup of whole milk. We need to let the cheese flavor infuse the milk. So that's going to go in the refrigerator for 1 to 3 hours. And then we're going to get it on the double boiler and melt it up. Alright, so I have infused the milk with the cheese for 3 hours in the fridge. Now I cut the recipe in half, so I used 1 cup of whole milk, and then I only had 5.5 ounces of Fontina, so I added a little bit of shredded mozzarella just to even things out. And now we're going to strain the milk out of the cheese. And make sure you reserve the milk. Now the recipe says you might not need all the milk. We're just going to add it slowly. Alright, so we're going to get this over the double boiler. Of course, if you have a fondue maker, that would be ideal. So I strained the milk out of the cheese, and then we're going to add butter. So for this ratio, I'm going to do 1.5 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to whisk that in. And once everything gets all melty and goopy, we're going to slowly drizzle in the milk. All right, before I drizzle in the milk, I have 2 egg yolks. And we're just going to gently put in the egg yolks. One more egg yolk. All right, here goes with the milk. Just a light stream. Oh, it's starting to look quite velvety. Alright, I still have some milk left. We'll see how that goes. I might not have to use all the milk. All right, so I got a nice French onion soup bowl. We'll use that to dunk the bread in. So I'm just gonna toast off some bread in the oven, and we'll be ready for Appies with Chappy by the lake. Appies with Chappy by the lake. So I got my Italian version of fondue, a nice cheesy fonduta with Fontina cheese, and we need a drink to go with our fonduta. So I got my Savoy cocktail book written by Harry Craddock, first edition, 1931. Of course, Harry was a world famous American barman that went to London, England during the Prohibition and worked at the Savoy Hotel. One of the first luxury hotels in the world, opened in 1889. And this is a recipe from Harry's book. This drink recipe is called Leave It To Me Cocktail Number 2. Now the measurements are just in dashes, teaspoons, and glasses. I think because the recipe's so old, the measurements are a little off. I don't know in the 1930s if England was in the metric system or how that worked, but here's his drink. All right, I got my trusty cocktail shaker. Over a little bit of ice. And as I said, the measurements are a little off. It calls for an insane amount of gin. I got some London dry gin, and the recipe calls for 3/4 cup of gin. And then I got it calls for a dash of raspberry syrup. I got some nice raspberry simple syrup. I just did 1 part sugar, 1 part water, and I And I basically steeped some fresh raspberries, and syrup came out with a nice, beautiful red color. It's a shame I only need a dash of it because this stuff is like liquid gold. And then let me just check Harry's measurements here. Okay, so that actually it was a teaspoon of raspberry syrup and then a teaspoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice and a dash of maraschino. I got some Luxardo original. It's an excellent cherry liqueur from Italy. So we'll do a little bit more than a dash, why not? We got all that gin in there. It needs a little bit of flavoring. All right, we'll give that a shake up. And just gonna put it in a regular glass today. Lovely, lovely color. And I got some nice maraschino cherries to garnish. And that, my friends, is a Leave It To Me cocktail number 2 to go with my Italian Fonduta. And that concludes another episode of Chappy's Tiki Bar. Make sure you hit that notification bell. This is Chappy saying life is hard. That's just the way it goes. But sometimes it goes the other way. See you next time on Chappy's Tiki Bar.